All right. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning. Good morning. Nicole Cooper here. Good morning, Instagram. Hey, everybody. All right, guys. So I only have a few minutes before I need to get to the gym. And so I wanted to get cranking with this on today. And my goal is to do these weekly. I'm trying to figure out dates. I'm trying to figure out schedule because right now I'm trying to do a lot in the mornings. And so I want to be consistent with whatever it is that I do. And so I'll keep you guys posted on the frequency of these and all the other details. But this morning, I want to talk to you guys about getting in alignment with God's assignment for your life and for your business. And I want to talk to you from a standpoint of what have you been running from? Okay, what have you been running from? I put a post up and I just talked about the fact that for years, I just felt God leading me to really talk a lot more about purpose and getting in alignment and just positioning yourself where you can truly begin to operate from where you know God has called you to be, like what God has positioned you for. And the reality is I just was disobedient. I just didn't want to do it. So this morning, while my hair is looking like I'm ready for the gym, no makeup, all that good stuff, I was like, I just got to do it. Like finding time, getting cute, doing all these things. Y'all know me, I'm a mom on the go. And it was just one of those things where get up this morning and get it going. So this morning, I want to talk to you about what are you running from? For me, for years, I've known that there's something so much more that I'm supposed to be doing with my life and with my business. And the reality is that it was not enticing enough for me to say yes to. I felt like there was so many different other things that I wanted to do that making these things a priority that God has called me to do was just, I was just disobedient, right? And over the last couple of years, I've talked about this before. You guys may be able to go on my page and see a video that I did from last week of getting in alignment with your assignment. I talked about the fact that a lot of times many of us know what we're supposed to be doing. We know what we're gifted to do. We have a visual of what that thing looks like, but we always are asking how or when or saying, I don't have the time, or, you know, I need this, I need that. Like, for example, for me, I need to be made up and look cute. I need to have the perfect backdrop. I need. We always come up with all these excuses. And one of the things that I was sharing with a friend yesterday, I said, you know, we got to get to a point where we just do it. Like, the thing about this is, guys, each and every one of us is given a gift and a purpose, right? We all have gifts, skills, and purpose. I talked about this last week. I talked about the fact that God, he embeds in us an innate ability to do something and do something well, right? And he often leads us down paths in our lives to remind us of what those different gifts are, of what the different things is that he's gifted us to do or he's called us to do. And I tell people those are usually things that come really natural to you, but a lot of times it's so natural that we dismiss it and think that everybody does it. Like everybody can do that. So that's not a really big deal. And for me, that was my situation, right? Is God has gifted me with the gift of what they call exhortation. I am a natural motivator. In me is a gift that when people are around me and when I open up my mouth, you're going to be inspired in some way, shape, or form. I've been that way since I was a kid. I remember going to college and I would write these long cards to all these different people and I would give it to them and just encourage them. And I was just always an encourager. And people will be like, man, Nick will have you thinking you can walk on the moon without a full, your moon outfit on or whatever it is, right? But that I had the natural gift of encouragement. And I did not know that that was a gift, right? I was just like, that's just how I roll. Like, that's just how I am. But I never knew that that was something that God can use for an even greater purpose than it just being something that I did for friends. And as of late, when I've been struggling with my career path, going down paths where I'm chasing money, like a lot of us are chasing money and a lot of us are chasing success. A lot of us are chasing tags and chasing titles and chasing accomplishments and chasing things that we're hoping, begging, and wishing will come to fruition in our life, all to get it and realize like, that may not be where I'm supposed to be. They may not be Not what you're supposed to be, but it's more to it than that, right? I've gone down these paths where I realize there's so much more to it than what I've been pursuing. And the reality is, it's something that I already have. It's not something that I have to chase. And you begin to understand that if you operate from a place of what comes natural, of where your purpose to be, then God will gift you with the opportunity to excel in that thing. So here's what's been happening. You know, I've been witnessing a lot of people. I don't say a lot of people. I've been witnessing a few key people who God is like, they're doing what I told you to do, and you've been disobedient. And I want you to understand that when you step out and do what I need you to do, I bless the work of your hands. Like one of my pastors, he's like one of my mentors, Apostle Giles. He said, Nicole, remember, your gift will make room for you. You know, your gift will open up doors for you. Your gift will position you in the presence of people that you have favor, you're granted favor with, right? And so when we operate from a place of purpose, guys, listen, things miraculously and supernaturally align versus when you're chasing things that are not in alignment and things that you're trying to force to happen. It is hard. It is hard. It is frustrating. It is overwhelming. It can be, unfulfilling. There's so many things that can happen that you begin to question, like, if this is where I'm supposed to be. So I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and I was just talking about the fact that my whole mission now is talking about alignment, right? And so a story was shared with me about someone who had reached the pinnacle of success. They were at the top of their game. Everything was just like perfect, but then they just had a season where everything began to fall apart. Whatever could go wrong was going wrong. And so the question was asked, why do you think this is happening to you? And a statement was made that made a huge impact on me at that moment. But the person said, I got away from my core values. I got away from the core things that I know I'm supposed to do and stick to. And instead of saying yes to everything, instead of sticking to those core values, I started saying yes to everything. And those things started getting me out of alignment. And next thing you know, so many different things hit the fan. And when he said that, I was like, core values. How many of us actually even know what our core values are? And so I want to talk to you guys this morning really briefly about establishing your core values and getting very clear on the things that matter most to you. Because if you do not, guys, here's the thing, and this is how life works. You know, if you don't have a standard for your life and how you live, what's going to happen is whatever comes your way, whatever is blown your way, people, opportunities, distractions, or whatever, it'll take you off track where you'll begin to do any and everything, and you don't even know where you're going, why you're doing it. You'll get lost along the way. And next thing you know, you're suffocating from a place of confusion and overwhelm and frustration and all these different things. And so God gives us little indicators. He gives us signs. And there's so many scriptures that I want to talk about and I need to pull out. But one of the main scriptures that I want to talk to you guys is from Jeremiah, where he says, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to give you a future and a hope and not of evil, right? I think it's Jeremiah 29:11. Hold on. Yeah, Jeremiah 29:11. And here's the thing, a lot of times, guys, we shut off when we talk about Bible, right? We shut off when we talk about Bible. A lot of people get very intimidated when you talk about scripture. They get very overwhelmed at the thought of opening up a Bible and actually reading it. But here's what I've discovered. The greatest mentor that you have in your life is your creator. And I shared with a friend yesterday, I said, having a relationship with God is like this. Imagine you're a parent, right? I don't know how many of you guys out there are parents. And you are super excited about your children. You love your children. You have a great, wonderful, vision for who they can become, what they can accomplish, and things that they can do. And you're raising this child. You're putting your all into this child. You're investing in this child. You're doing all these amazing things. But imagine the child gets about 13 or 14 where they feel a little confident and making their own decisions. And they're like, yeah, I got this. I want to do this. And my mom is telling me to do that. Or my dad is telling me to do this. And, they start dealing with this whole, this is what I want to do. And I'm not going to listen to what you're trying to tell me thing. Imagine your child says at the age of 13, 14, you know what, mom, dad, I don't need you no more. I don't want you in my life. Don't ever call me again. I don't ever want to see you again. I'm disowning you from being my parents. I'm moving on. I'm going to make my own decisions. And at this point in time, just forget that you ever knew me. Just cut me off. Just act like I was never birthed to you. I was never your child. And they leave. You don't know where they go. You don't know what they do. They just disappear and they choose not to give you any level of contact. That's the way our relationship is with God. Sometimes we can be that rebellious 13 or 14-year-old telling him, I don't need you. I don't want you, get out of my life. You can't tell me what to do with my life. Act like you never knew me. That's what a lot of us do. And it's because we don't understand the care and concern and desire for what God wants to do in our life and how he wants to lead us. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. If you look around our world today at how reckless it is, we have a generation that is almost godless. Okay. I heard somebody say this the other day. They said we're one generation away from being a godless society, meaning that people are trying to remove all things that have anything to do with God. The government is doing it. Unfortunately, in our households, we're doing it. We have no integrity in anything that we do from a media standpoint. Sex is everywhere, from the television to the radio to the songs that we listen to. And a lot of us don't want to be told that that's not okay. Here's the reality. I got two babies. I got a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old. And my kids hear sex. I'm trying to shield them from it. If it's a commercial, they see sex. The other day, my daughter was looking at a YouTube channel they love looking at, my daughter's like into comedian type things, comedy. I don't know. She loves stuff that makes her laugh. So she's looking at these Vine videos, and then this commercial pops up with two women kissing and promoting, that. And my daughter's like, oh my God, it's like all these things are before us all day long, creating these visuals in our heads that are deterrents. Like they're really things that are removing us from understanding just how things are supposed to be. Like, no, your kids don't need to be exposed to sex all day, every day. Like that's not normal. I don't care that they need to know about it. That's not normal. Your kids need to be focused on being children right now, not focused on sexual things at these young, tender ages. And so all those things are infiltrations from the enemy. A lot of people don't want to talk about this stuff. This is fine. If this is not something you want to hear, good. I'm good with it. I'm going to talk about it because at the end of the day, most of us are standing in a place of confusion because we are godless. Like we are detached from the creator that has brought us forth to put us in position to operate from a place of purpose. And we don't know where to turn because we have no guidance, right? We have no guidance. And so when you see all of this happening, the suicide rates are up, the crime rates are up. More people are losing their mind and they're going out here and murdering people. You see murders. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy now, from the Waffle House the other day to the other person in Toronto with the van. Like it is negative energy everywhere. And so we're in a season where people have to rise up, people who understand who they are and who they are called to be the light. Like you have to, if you know that God has called you to rise and stand from a place of purpose, you have to rise and be the light. Now, I know for me, a lot of my success came from an industry of money, making money, how to make more money, how to generate business, how to do all these different things. And that's what most people want to talk about. But what I do know is that we have such a hopeless generation of people. Like there's so many people that are dealing with depression and dealing with so many different things, and they have the stuff. Some have the stuff, some don't have the stuff. And so I gotta bring this up because too many of us are being quiet and we're trying to be politically correct. At this point in the game, y'all, listen, it's time for me to be radical. Like, I don't have time to play games. I don't have time to sit around and try to bury who I'm called to be to fit in. I always say God didn't call us to blend in. He called us to stand out. And oftentimes it's being bold enough to step out there and do the things that most people are not willing to do, because there's a greater assignment on your life that requires impacting other people in ways that most people are not willing to step up and do. And so, yeah, I could talk to you about money. I could talk to you about all that stuff, but that's not my purpose. My purpose in life is to help inspire and bring forth a level of clarity and confidence in people to understand that God created you with such a greater purpose, that it is bigger than the things that we are chasing and that we are attaching ourselves to. And so I want to talk to you this morning from a standpoint of, what are you running from, right? What are you running from? I brought up Jeremiah 29:11. And it says, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Guys, the way that God speaks to us a lot of times is through visions and through dreams. Even if you don't have a consistent relationship with God, this is not to make you feel, like you got to be super overwhelmingly holy, but you want to be connected, right? But God has given each and every one of us visions and dreams and given us our imagination with the ability to see something about our future that may not be, in this immediate moment, may not be clear how you can make it happen, but it keeps resurfacing. And if you read the Bible often repeats things because it's a sense of reinforcement, right? When you hear things duplicated over and over again, repetition is the mother of all skill. We teach that in business. Repetition is the mother of all skill. So when you do something repeatedly, when you hear something repeatedly, when you're connected to something that is repeated over and over again, what happens is that becomes habit. Over and over again, God will show us these same dreams, these same visions, because I tell people dreams are from the book that your soul is writing about you. Dreams are giving you visuals from the book that your soul is writing about you. Your dreams are showing you who God has called you to be. Your vision, your imagination, your ability to see something that is so much bigger and greater than where you are is God's way of saying, listen, son, listen, daughter, I've called you to operate from this level and from this role of excellence. Right now, you're down here because your ability to see who you really are, you're thinking lower of yourself than who I've created you to be. So I need to keep reinforcing this vision, keep reinforcing this dream, keep reigniting this idea in you, because this is what I've called you to do. And so when you get these dreams and these imaginations, there's another scripture in Habakkuk 2:2, and it talks about writing the vision and making it plain, right? Write the vision and making it plain so that when you see it, you can run with it, right? You can run with it. And see, a lot of people don't understand the Bible, and that's fine, y'all. I'm going to help y'all understand it in like real practical terms, because I live by this. Like I study this word. This is my, they call it, the Bible stands for basic instructions before leaving earth. Most of us are out here paying coaches. We out here trying to find mentors. We out here trying to be bosses and making boss moves, but you need a boss. You need a mentor that understands everything about you. And this is my boss. This is my CEO. This is my mentor. This is my coach. This is my leader, is the Lord is. And he talks to me and gives me this, the greatest business plan that was ever written. So when it comes down to how I operate and what I do, I go according to what was written for me. Now, people got conspiracy theories and all that. Here's my take on conspiracy theories and, this is somebody else's religion designed to control you or whatever. Here's the thing that people cannot take away from you guys is a relationship. When you are in relationship with somebody, you really know them. So for example, when you get married, or you have a best friend that you grew up with, you've known since you were kids, y'all have done everything together, spent the night over each other's houses, and you had all these wonderful and amazing things that you've developed over the years. In a relationship, you understand the character of that person. So you know them. So if somebody comes to you and tries to instill something that is conflicting with who you know of them as a person, you can say, that's not my friend. My friend won't do that. Or if they do something that is out of character, which we can do, you still know, you know what, Nicole, that's not you. You right now, you're going through something. I understand that you probably are dealing with some situations that are making you act this way, but that's not who you really are. I know you, right? You know them enough to be able to make a character call on this person if somebody says that they were out of the character that you know them for, right? So you've developed a sense of trust and connection. What I've learned is I don't care how many conspiracy theories people want to create. I know the relationship that I have with God to the point that that's my homie. Like, we roll. I used to tell people when I was in college and I would be driving around in my car, I was crazy back then, right? But I would put the seatbelt of the passenger side on and say, Jesus, sit next to me, because I wanted to have such a connected relationship with God that I wanted to know he's always present with me in everything that I do. Because guys, you have to have that spiritual connection that is beyond this human interaction, because humans will disappoint you. People will disappoint you. People will confuse you. People will do all these different things. And there are times in your life where you will feel all alone. So you have to have that connection. So I make it a commitment of mine to understand this, but I connect with this, that I don't have to necessarily have a person tell me what's right or what's wrong, but that I am spiritually aligned and connected in a way that I can get downloads from God. So like I'm telling you with you guys, with the visions and the dreams, God speaks to all of us in different ways. You can call it your intuition, you can call it your gut feeling, but we all have that internal instinct that teaches us and shows us different things that we are called to do, and we have to learn how to adhere to it. So I'm over my 15 minutes. I want to wrap this up. But Habakkuk 2:2. So Habakkuk is this Habakuk, right? This is in the Bible. I want you guys to go look it up at verse 2 and 2, right? 2 and 2. Okay. It says, then the Lord said to me, write my answer plainly on tablets so that a runner can carry the correct message to others. The vision is for a future time. It describes the end and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, okay, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed, right? It will not be delayed. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed. See, here's the thing, guys. When you have this connection to God, and you begin to trust that God has ordered your steps, and that God created you. And we'll talk a lot more about this. I'm working on some stuff for you guys where we'll be breaking this down into simple layman's terms. But when you understand that God has a purpose for you, the Bible tells you that even before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you, for you are fearfully and wonderfully made. It talks about the fact that God crafted you in your mother's womb. And then it also talks about the fact that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, meaning you have every single thing you need to be who God has created you to be. And I tell people all the time, we are spirit beings having a human experience. We're not human beings having a spirit experience. So we were spirit first, and then we were placed into these borrowed bodies to operate on this earth just for a season. And while we are here doing what we need to do, when the mission is accomplished, God snatches us out of these bodies and he takes us to where he's designed for us to go, which is, well, it depends on your choices in life, right? What you choose on the earth will dictate where you go. That's a whole nother conversation. But the goal is to be able to go back to where you came from in spirit, right? So what does that mean, y'all? That means that your life is so much bigger than a hustle. Your life is so much bigger than chasing things. Your life is so much bigger than trying to be like everybody else around you. You have an assignment on this earth, something you're called to fulfill, something you're called to create. And it does not have to be that you are a minister in a church or a missionary. Too many of us think that God restricts us to these small little roles, and not small, they're big roles, but this small bracket, like, oh, my only purpose on the earth, the only purpose that God would give somebody is in the four walls of a church. No, there are things that you can do to support, but you are a walking church. I used to be told all the time by one of my mentors, he says, you are the only Bible that some people will ever see, because most people will never open this, right? So you are a representation of the church. You are a representation of who God is. You are a representation of the Spirit of God. You are a representation of God's love. You are the hands and the feet that God uses to create impact. You are the mouthpiece. I was telling one of my mentors the other day, Pastor Giles, I'm like, you are the megaphone. You know, sometimes we're like, God, give me a sign. And he'll send you people that'll say, hey, have you ever thought about doing X, Y, and Z? And you're like, oh my God, I was just praying about this morning, or I was just trying to figure that out. And here you come and you tell me X, you know, like ask me this question, which is what I was just praying about. So sometimes people are going to be the megaphone for God to say, hey, if you were needing a sign, here's your sign, take this step and do this, right? God will send people our way to show us what it is that we need to do. And so here's the deal, guys. Listen, some of you or all of you are running from something. You're running from something bigger than beyond where you are, because you might feel like it don't look like the role that everybody else is fulfilling. You can't go down the path everybody else. I was telling my girlfriend yesterday, I said, I feel like God got me in the house. Y'all remember when you were a kid and your parents would make you stay in the house while everybody else was outside playing? You got to stay in the house and you got to do work. You got to clean the house, do your homework, and do this, that, and the other, while you can see out the window all the other kids outside playing and having while all the other kids are outside playing and having a good time, right? And you're like, but I want to go out and play. And God is like, nope, that's not for you right now. You sit right here. I got work for you to do. And you're like, but why I got to work when they get to go outside and play? Sometimes in our lives, we want to go play when God is saying, no, I want you in the house. There's certain things that I want you to do, because in that house, he's equipping you to do some things that the people outside playing just not being equipped to do, right? It's nothing against them or whatever. But in this house, your parents are like, I'm going to equip you and prepare you for your future and for your success. And that means that you got to have delayed gratification when it comes to playing and being able to just do all the things that everybody else is doing. And so, yep, he'll put you in isolation. He'll put you in time out to equip you, to raise you up, to restore you, to build you up, to train you, to guide you, to help you, to help build up your confidence in a thing, to help build up your skill set in a thing. And you can't go do what everybody else is doing. And yes, it's going to look like everybody is balling out, everybody is accomplishing, or they're making progress, and you're not. And you're sitting over here mad and frustrated because you're like, I want to go play and I'm not going to do nothing until I go play. All to realize that the people who want to go play are relying on you to get built up in this thing, because the day is going to come where those people who've been playing are going to come to you for guidance, because you got something that they need, right? You have something that they need. And so I was telling my girlfriend, I said, I feel like God has had me sitting in the house watching everybody play while I'm like, why I got to sit in the house? And I understand that now he's like, okay, you ready to go outside? Because when you go outside, it's going to be like the light coming on in the midst of darkness, where, and my friends teach me this all the time. He said, if you think about a back country road, right? If you have a house in a back country road where there's no street lights or anything like that, when you turn the light on, what happens? It begins to attract different things, flies, this and that and the other. All these things become a magnet to the light. And a lot of times God will keep you in secret because you are being built up as the light, that when he releases you to those dark places, people are drawn to you, right? They're drawn to you. And that can be in any venue, guys. It can be where in business, it can be where you might be on your job. It can be where you on whatever it is, like it can be anywhere where you become the light of that environment, and people can say there's something different about you. I don't know what it is, but there's something different about you. I'll give you a prime example for me. Every business I've been in, I've had, not every, but most businesses I've been in, I've had supernatural favor, massive success, made tons of money, top recruiter, top earner, top this, top that. And guess what? I didn't have to try too hard. I was just diligent in what it was that I wanted to do, but I knew the favor of God was on my life, because I would be in rooms with people who would drop $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a month on marketing, and I was doing stuff for free. I wasn't spending no money on marketing, and I'm in the top 25 with those people. We in the same room, right? We're in the same room. We're attracting a similar number of people. I had my tribe and they had their tribe, but I got my tribe organically because of the light of Christ that is in me. Like literally, favor rests on your life. I am not the most magnificent marketer or the most phenomenal business person in the world, but I've been able to have a great level of success because honestly, God will grant you favor in certain environments so that you can be positioned with that platform so that you can reach that audience. But you got to understand that it's about him and not about me. It's not about me coming out here and acting like I'm the baddest thing in the world. Like I'm this, like just being very narcissistic about I'm here because it's all about me. And I did this no, God gave you this platform. God granted you favor in the eyes of many people. God has positioned you to be able to attract folks in a way because they can see that light. So you got to let God use you in those things. And so for many of you, you see something, that vision, that dream, that goal, that imagination is running with the same idea. It keeps popping up over and over and over again. And you're telling yourself, you keep pushing it to the side. You're like, I don't know how I can do that. I got to pay my bills. I got to do this. I got to do that. Blah, blah, blah. I can't do that right now. The time's not right. I got to wait until I lose 20 pounds. I got to wait until I pay off my debt. I got to wait until I get out of debt. I'm going to wait till I get married. I'm going to wait till my kids get grown and they leave the house. I'm going to wait until whatever. You got all these reasons why you want to wait. And God is like, no, the time is now. I need you to move now. The sense of urgency is now. And here's one of the things that I realized about this life that we're in. And of course I've gone over, but maybe y'all need to hear this. But here's, and I'm gonna wrap this up in, oh God, I'm over 30 minutes. So I gotta wrap this up. Here's one of the things that I've learned about your gift, right? Your gift, your calling, your purpose, and your assignment. Your gift, I wish I had my keys here, but your gift that God has given you, your purpose that God has given you is like a key, okay? Now, I want you to close your eyes and imagine that you are on a stage and you are in a room full of people that are all looking at you. So just imagine you're on the biggest, think of the biggest stage you can ever think of, or the biggest coliseum or auditorium that you can ever think of. And some of y'all are paranoid about speaking. So remove the fear right now and just think about this analogy that I'm giving you. You are on stage with a key, okay? God is giving you a key. And as you look into the audience, all of those people are waiting on you to use that key, okay? And as you begin to operate in your gift and operate in your purpose, you take that key, and I want you to imagine yourself getting off stage and going down to the front row. And you go person by person and just imagine that person had like a lock on them, okay? So look at all those people in the crowd. Imagine each of them have some kind of lock. And imagine that lock is around their neck, these chains. Your purpose, your calling, your assignment, you get off stage and you go and you unlock one person and the chains fall off. Then you go and you unlock the next person and the chains fall off. And you go and you unlock the third person and the fourth. But here's what happens when those chains fall off of them. As the chains fall off of them, they all of a sudden have a key. And each of everyone from that front row turns around and they take that key and they unlock the person behind them. And then that person turns around and they unlock. Now everybody is able to operate in that gift and unlock one another because you stepped out and was bold enough to operate from a place of purpose that God granted you the gift that was able to unlock something in somebody else, that gave them access to thee, that they were able to unlock other people. My friends, this is the power of operating in your purpose and in your gifts that God is giving you and what he's called you to do. Many of us don't see it that way because we've allowed our experiences in life to beat us down to the point where we think so low of ourselves that we no longer have hope for our future. And then we're so disconnected from God that we're not connected to be reminded of who we are called to be. And so this morning, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna close out on that because I wanted this to be 15 minutes. But I'm gonna close out on that, and I'm gonna close out in prayer with you guys because It's time to unlock and unleash some people. Guys, there's so much that God wants to do in your life. You know I've been sitting on my gifts for years being selfish about them. I wanted to go out here and focus just on making money. And I wanted to go out here and build my brand. And I wanted to go out here and build an empire. And I wanted to go out here and build all these things that were very selfish and all catered around me. And God is like, now, while you're doing all this stuff for you, here are all these people waiting to be unlocked and unleashed that you got access to, but you're being selfish in your gift, that they're being held prisoner because you won't do what you were called and born to do. And the crazy thing is, guys, is that I've had people come to me. Many of y'all know me. People will inbox me and be like, girl, you know what God has called you to do. What are you waiting for? When are you going to step out there? When are you going to do it? And that selfishness, the enticement of things, I call it tags and titles, the chasing of more tags, getting stuff and more titles, accomplishing stuff in your name. But it's time for change, y'all. It's time for a true radical change. And I'm not going to sit back anymore and be a punk about my assignment on the earth while I'm worried about everybody outside playing who on Instagram and they got all their stuff and they taking these pictures and they look like they having all this fun. And I feel like I can't do that. No, God will give you those things when you operate in your gift. But your assignment in this season is to be submitted to your destiny, the thing that God has called and prepared and equipped you and created you for. And if you do not do it, here's the thing, because a lot of people are like, well, what happens if you do not do it? So I can't remember where this parable is, but there's a parable in Matthew where it talks about God giving people different talents. A guy gave some people some talents. One went and buried his talent, and the other two, I think 3 people, he gave them different talents. One buried his talent because he was scared to lose it, and the other 2 went and they took their talents and they doubled it. One had like 2 or 3 and he turned it into 6. The other one had like 5, he turned it into 10. And when the guy who came back and asked them about what did they do with their talents, the one was real proud. He was like, I buried my talent. So he was like, give me your talent. He took it and he gave it to the people that took their talent and invested it, and they sowed those seeds and they utilized it. You see, if you don't do what God has called you to do, if you don't take action on your vision, your goal, your dreams, the things that you see in your imagination, what's going to happen is you'll see somebody else doing what you were supposed to do. You'll see them being blessed in that situation. You'll see their lives flourishing. You'll see things starting to manifest, and you'll be like, oh my God, I was supposed to be doing that. Doesn't mean that you still can't do it. No, you can still do it, but you just need to understand that it's all about you having free will and making a decision as to if you want to operate in that thing or not. And so I'm going to close on that note, and I'll say this: don't get to heaven and have God show you all that you could have been and all that you could have done. There is so much that God wants to do in and through your life. And it's just time for us to release ourselves, y'all, and say yes. Just say yes. Even if you don't know where to start, y'all, just say yes. Just say yes, God. Yes. Yes, Lord. Like, show me that you're real. Show me how to have this relationship with you. Show me how to not be caught up in what everybody else is saying. Show me what you created me for. Show me where to start. Give me the resources that I need to make it possible. Put the right people in my path. Open up the doors and the opportunities that I'm supposed to walk in. Close the doors on the ones that I'm not supposed to be in. Put the right people in my life, but remove the ones that are not supposed to be around me. Allow me to protect my eyes. Allow me to protect my ears. Allow me to be cautious of what I allow into my environment. Teach me how to be disciplined about my time. Teach me how to be obedient in your guidance. Teach me how to operate from a level of purpose. Help me to learn how to say no. Teach me how to say yes when it's time. Give me an opportunity to have wisdom to see things that my natural eyes don't understand. Help me to be able to decipher between what I should be doing and shouldn't be doing. Just give me that supernatural download so that I'm no longer running around here thinking that I got to figure it out all by myself with this limited capacity of a brain that I have. But instead, let me experience what God feels like. Let me experience what a true opportunity for miracles feel like. Let me experience what it means to go to a whole new level in the Lord. Let me know what it feels like to have big wins in the Lord, where it's not something I did, but it just manifested and I know it was you. And so, guys, I pray for you. Dear Lord, I pray right now in the mighty name of Jesus for each and every person that is listening to us on this broadcast. God, I thank you for the boldness to step out and do these things that you have assigned us to do. I thank you for the opportunity, dear Lord, to just have that grace and mercy that all the times that we are disobedient, you continue to stay there and wait on us because you love us so much. and you want to see us operate in the fullness of who you've created us to be, that you continue to guide us every single day, even when we turn away from you, even when we reject you, even when we say no to you over and over again. Father, every single person that is watching this broadcast is searching for their purpose, searching for guidance, searching to be in alignment with their God-given assignment. God, I ask right now that you create so many downloads in them, dear Lord, from a standpoint of vision, from a standpoint of clarity, from a standpoint of confidence, from a standpoint of the ability to see exactly who they are called to be, and give them, God, the inspiration to begin to write these things down, the inspiration to begin to research these things, the inspiration to begin to act on these things. God, I pray that you surround them with your angels, surround them with people in their lives that will allow them to begin to speak life into them, to show them who they really are, that will build them up and help them to guide and navigate them down their paths. Dear Lord, forgive us for our sins, but let us not live a life in bondage because of our past. God, so many people are living in shame and embarrassment to even have a relationship with you because they feel like you're judging every single thing that they've done. But God, we thank you for your grace and mercy. Your word says that you can take the foolish things of this world and confound them to become wise. In other words, you can take the crazy, unpredictable people like I was, and you can turn their lives around and turn them into being amazing vessels that you can use to have powerful impact on the earth. God, let them not live in judgment or in fear, or let them not live in a place of worry or fret, but instead, God, allow them to experience a life of faith and a true just revelation of a relationship with you, an opportunity to get to know you. God, I pray for everyone right now, Lord, that from this moment forward, God, you'll begin to download things in them that will make them go and search out their destiny, search out the instructions, search out the path, search out the way in which you desire for them to go. And I just ask, God, that you continue to do this every single day by showing them step by step what to do. We know we don't need to worry about all the how. All we need to know is the next step. Your word says that your word will be a light unto our feet and a lamp unto our path, which means that all we need is enough light to take the next step. God, give them the confidence to be bold, to take that first step, and to stop living their lives in this limited human capacity, but become the mighty men and women of God that you have created them to be. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I pray for you that you truly get a chance to experience what God wants to do with you. I know that this is a shift for me. We'll talk a lot more about my story later on. There's so many things that behind the scenes, I be crying, y'all. Me and God be fighting. Like, I cry a lot because I be like, why I got to go through all this? Like, why? But it's like, because he's like, I got to get you, I got to prune you from all the things that everybody, all the things that the world is telling you should be doing. I need to remove all of that because I just want you to hear my voice. I don't need you to be listening to what everybody else is saying. I don't need you to be trying to do what everybody else is doing. I don't need you to be trying to pursue the path that everybody else is going on. God says that I have such a unique path for you that I need you just to be in tune with my voice and my direction. And so I pray for each and every one of you guys today that this is a blessing to you. I am going to try to do this weekly. I am really trying to work this morning schedule out. I got to get to the gym, and I got Bible study today, and I got all this other stuff, and I got client projects. It's like the day just is a lot, but we're going to make this work. And if this has been a blessing to you, I'm going to ask you guys to please share this with other folks. Comment, give me your feedback. It's not like your feedback gonna change what I'm doing as far as negative, right? People have negative stuff, but I do want to hear if it's impacting you in any way, shape, or form. And I say that feedback thing because a lot of times we want people to validate what we're doing. I'm not looking for validation. I am just making sure that this is impacting you. If you have any questions and stuff like that, just want to be clear. And so, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is my prayer that this has been a blessing to you today. Share this video, and I got to figure out a time and how and when that we can do this consistently. So let me know if you enjoyed this and if you want to see more of it. And we're going to figure this time thing out because I know y'all supposed to be at work right now. So have a great day, y'all. I'm going to shut it on down. I'm going to look through your comments. I'll respond a little later on. So thank you so much. You guys have a great and awesome day. And all right, love y'all. Bye. And I can't get Facebook to end. the end video won't hit. Ah, what's going on? Ah, okay. Do you want to end this live video? Yes. If you end this live video now, you'll be able to choose if you want to save. Okay. All right. Let's see.